Now we are having Bhagavatam in English, we are having Bhagavatam in Kannada, we are having in Hindi, we are having in Telugu. Only Malayalam is in English, Mataji. Huh?
Hari Bol Prabhuji.
Nityam Bhagavatam, daily hear Bhagavatam, they will grow.
Prabhuji, someone in Krishna book class was asking for Krishna book in Kannada.
We have organized. Now it's up to the Kannada department. If you have organized.
Max English Kannada, Hindi Kannada.
Krishna book in Kannada every day, and Telugu in Malayalam, Hindi. Krishna book is very sweet. So it's live on YouTube. So you go.
Yes, Prabhuji, sorry.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavata means daily we have to hear Bhagavata. Okay, now this is Veda. Base.
Prabhu, 28th and 29th, last text of this chapter.
Today is 28th or 29th?
29th, Prabhuji.
29th, Prabhuji.
29th.
29, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Devaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yad Yad Parikshit Rishabhaha.
Yad
Yad
Parikshit
Vrishabhaha.
Panduna Anuprichyati.
Pandunamani Pritchati.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Yatum Upachakrame.
Adyatum Upachakra.
Yad Yad Parikshit Rishabhaha.
Yad Parikshit
Rishita Rishabhaha.
Panduna Anuprichyati.
Pandunamanu Pritchati.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Akyatum Upachakrame.
Akyatum Upachakrame.
Yad Yad Parikshit Rishabhaha.
Yad Parikshita Rishabhaha.
Panduna Anuprichyati.
Pandunamanu Pritchati.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Akyatum Upachakrame.
Akyatum Upachakrame.
Yad Parikshit Rishabhaha.
Yad Parikshita Rishabhaha.
Anuprichyati.
Padunamanu Pritchati.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Yatum Upachakrame.
Akyatum Upachakrame.
Yad Parikshit Rishabhaha.
Yad Parikshita Rishabhaha.
Anuprichyati.
Padunamanu Pritchati.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Anupurvena Tatsarvam.
Yatum Upachakrame.
Akyatum Upachakrame.
Yes.
Yad Yad Parikshit Rishabhaha. Pandunamanu Pritchati. Anupriyena Tat Sarvam. Avyaktam Uparichakranam.
यद्यत् परीक्षिदृषभः पाण्डूनामनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्वेण तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुम् उपचक्रमे.
यद्यत् परीक्षिदृषभः पाण्डुनामनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्व्येन येन तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुम् अपृच्छत्।
यद्यत् परीक्षित वृषभः पाण्डूनाम् अनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्वेण तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुम् उपचक्रमे।
यद्यत् परीक्षित ऋषभः पाण्डूनाम् अनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्वेण तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुम् उपचक्रमे। हरे कृष्ण।
यद्यत् परीक्षित वृषभा पाण्डुनामनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्वेण तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुम् उपचक्रमे। हरे कृष्ण।
यत् परीक्षित ऋषभः पाण्डूनाम् अनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्वेण तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुम् उपचक्रमे।
Yes, Shubha Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavad pranams. Yadyat parikshit rishabha pandunam anupryachati anupurvena tatsarvam akhyatum upachakrame.
Yes, Aishwarya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी दंडवत। यत् परीक्षित वृषभा पाण्डूनामनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्वेण तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुम् उपचक्रमे।
Hare Krishna. This time, children registration is very big, Mataji.
हरि बोल।
And yesterday, I think we'll get more boost. Anna? Mannat, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी। यद्यत् परीक्षित ऋषभः पाण्डूनाम् अनुपृच्छति आनुपूर्वेण तत्सर्वम् आख्यातुम् उपचक्रमे।
Yat, whatsoever Parikshit the king, Rishabha, the best Pandunam in the dynasty of the Pandu Anuprachati, he goes on inquiring, Anupurvena, the beginning to the end, Tat, although Sarvam fully, Akyatum, to describe Upachakrame, he just prepared himself. He also prepared himself to reply to all that King Parikshit inquired from him. Maharaj Parikshit was the best in the dynasty of the Pandavas. He was able to ask the right question from the right person. He also prepared to reply.
Also prepared himself to reply
To all.
Wow.
The King Parikshit that inquired from him.
That King Parikshit had
That of King
Inquired from him.
Maharaj Parikshit.
Maharaj Parikshit
The best.
was the best.
the
The
best
dynasty of the Pandus.
in the dynasty of the Pandus.
And he was able to ask
And thus he was able to
right
ask
questions,
right questions
the right person.
from the right person.
From the right person. Can I read Prabhuji?
Gaurangi, no, let
Hare
Tota
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
I'll pronounce it. Just Tota Prabhuji, just wait.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Just wait. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Maharaja Parikshit asked many questions, some of them very curiously, to know things as they are. But it is not necessary for the master to answer them in the order of the disciples' inquiries, one after the other. But Shukadev Goswami, experienced teacher that he was, answered all the questions in a systematic way as they were received from the chain of disciplic succession. And he answered all of them without exception. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the second canto, 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by King Parikshit. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Nahamini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunavadi Ashadade Shatarine Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The very famous shloka. Swapna Drishto Ivanjasa. So anyway, let us briefly discuss. Let us briefly discuss the situation. Questions. So there is questioning. Without that, I think in the Vedic literature, the whole approach is questioning and answering. Not like some commandments are thrown, you have to accept it, you like or not, understand or not. Now some revelation is there, you just have to accept. You cannot inquire. Tadvidhi pranipatena. Surrender is needed, but then pariprashna, what if I did not understand? Sometimes we go to a doctor and doctor says this, we hear, we come back, oh my God, I forgot to ask him this. Now what do I do? Again sit in the queue. Sometimes it happens to us. So without questioning, how it can be possible? Tadvidhi pranipate pariprashnena sevaya. First we take shelter of the acharya. That is first. You cannot ask question before that, because challenge doesn't work. It doesn't work even in material science or spiritual science, or no question. It always works with sub spirit. Tadvidhi pranipatena. Then after that, pariprashnena. Okay, and I was hearing this, but I'm not able to understand. Sevaya, and the mood of service. Upadakshante te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshana. The Guru will give you all knowledge because he has seen the truth. So this is proper says in the purport there, the spiritual master is naturally very kind to sincere disciple, and he bestows all spiritual knowledge. So spiritual knowledge is not only theory, it is realization. So the realization of Krishna consciousness is actually what we should seek. When Sanatana Goswami met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked one question, Keami, who am I and why I am suffering? This is the fundamental question we should have. Who am I and why I am suffering? That's for a sincere person. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him so much spiritual knowledge for all aspects of Krishna consciousness. For 1 month, he heard Lord Chaitanya for 1 month every day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally did not write anything. He made the Goswamis to write. And they wrote lakhs of shlokas. So voluminous. Practically they were only sleeping 2 hours, sometimes not even that. So much absorbed. And then Sanatana Goswami fell at the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then now you give me the mercy that whatever you told me becomes visible to me, becomes realized by me, becomes manifest. It's not just a story. So when we are actually sincerely following rules and regulations, chanting Hare Krishna, gradually these things become visible. Prabhupada said, otherwise all doubts will remain. So the process has to work. Krishna conscious process is not only some kind of a theoretical understanding. It's a process. It's not only theory. Suppose you hear in the theory, it looks like this. Then when you see, you match, yeah, it looks like this. And that is called proper understanding. Not some magic show. Most of the people, somebody wrote to me, okay, you practice Krishna consciousness? Yes. Can you tell us some magic which you have seen or you can do? So my God, most of the people, you don't want to name some religion. It's a big joke they made. They have a gathering and then one person will fall. Not only that, some CD will be holding. You've seen that joke, I think it was viral on the net. Tamasha. So somebody hold a CD and they touch on somebody's head, he'll fall on the ground and gotta do drama like that. Not a magic show like that. Prayer meeting is happening, one person will fall on the ground. And person want attention basically. So mind will do any tricks. Mind is so powerful that it can imitate any of the Ashtavikaras. And you'll believe and you'll be fully convinced you are actually become very advanced. Mind is can make a joke out of you. Maya is so powerful. When there is an instance in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya is showing very advanced systems of Krishna Bhakti. So Prabhupada does not write any purport on it. Goes on for some 100 shlokas, no purport, just different symptoms of Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy. Then after that, Prabhupada writes one purport. These symptoms that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed are coming from his heart. That's the difference. For us, this comes from the mind. And then, how do you know it's coming from the heart or the mind? Because we see still so many strong mental desires are there. How it can come from the heart? There is no question. It's all from the mind. So when actually heart becomes purified, if it is not purified, Nectar Devotion says all the symptoms to be a shadow of the real symptoms of Krishna consciousness. When the Krishna conscious symptoms come from the heart, then it gives you ecstasy, it gives you spiritual happiness. And slowly, slowly it grows. So a guru and disciple relationship is very natural because he feels sheltered by the spiritual master. Naturally. It's not artificial, some sentiment. And he feels thus spiritually connected, protected. And Parikshit Maharaj is therefore asking, he's taken shelter of Shukadeva Goswami, the advanced spiritualist, and he's feeling sheltered and protected. And very happily is asking more and more questions. And Shukamuni is very happy to reply. And you see, whole Bhagavatam began with 6 questions asked by the sages in Naimisharanya to Shukamuni. And similarly, Bhagavad Gita is also Arjuna's question. And here Parikshit Maharaj also asked so many questions to Shukadeva Goswami. So whole Vedic literature is question, answer, question, answer. That leads to very clear understanding. Okay, so now we go to the next shloka or anything somebody has any observation, question, answer. Shri Shuka Vacha Atamayam Rite Rajan Parasyanubhavatmanaha Na Ghatetartha Sambandha Swapna Dashturivanjasa Shri Shuka Vacha Atamayam Rite Rajan Parasyanubhavatmanaha Na Ghatetartha Sambandha Swapna Dashturivanjasa Shri Shuka Vacha Atmayam Rite Rajan Arhasyanubhavatmanaha Na Ghatetartha Sambandha Swapna Dashturivanjasa Shri Shuka Vacha. Shukadeva Goswami said, Atma, the personality, Godhead, Maya, energy, Rite, without, Rajan, O king, Parasya, of the pure soul, Anubhava Atmanaha, of the purely conscious, Na, never. Ghateta, it can so happen. Artha, meaning. Sambandha, relation in the mental body. Sapna, dream. Drashtuhu, of the seer. Eva, like. Anjasa, completely. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, unless one is influenced by the energy of the Supreme Personality Godhead, there is no meaning to the relation of the pure soul and pure conscious of the mental body. That relation is like a dreamer seeing his own body working. Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, unless one is influenced by the energy of the Supreme Personality Godhead, there is no meaning to the relationship of the pure soul in pure consciousness with the mental body. That relationship is just like a dreamer's seeing his own body working. Yes. We will read Thotaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Maharaja Parikshit's question as to how a living entity began his material life, although he is apart from the material body and mind, is perfectly answered. The spirit soul is distinct from the material conception of his life, but he is absorbed in such a material conception because of being influenced by the external energy of the Lord called Atma Maya. Atma Maya. This has already been explained in the first canto in connection with Vyasadeva's realization of the Supreme Lord and his external energy. The external energy is controlled by the Lord, and the living entities are controlled by the external energy, by the will of the Lord. Therefore, although the living entity is purely conscious in his pure state, he is subordinate to the will of the Lord, is being influenced by the external energy of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15, also the same thing is confirmed. The Lord is present within the heart of every living entity, and all the living entities' consciousness and forgetfulness are influenced by the Lord. Now the next question automatically made will be why the Lord influences the living entity to such consciousness and forgetfulness. The answer is that the Lord clearly wishes that every living entity be in his pure consciousness as a part and parcel of the Lord, and thus be engaged in the loving service of the Lord as he is constitutionally made. But because the living entity is partially independent also, he may not be willing to serve the Lord, but may try to become as independent as the Lord is. All the non-devotee living entities are desirous of becoming equally as powerful as the Lord, although they are not fit to become so. The living entities are illusioned by the will of the Lord because they wanted to become like him. Like a person who thinks of becoming a king without possessing the necessary qualification, when the living entity desires to become the Lord himself, he is put in a condition of dreaming that he is a king. Therefore, the first sinful will of the living entity is to become the Lord, and the consequent will of the Lord is that the living entity forget his factual life and thus dream of the land of utopia, where he may become one like the Lord. The child cries to have the moon from the mother, and the mother gives the child a mirror to satisfy the crying and disturbing child with the reflection of the moon. Similarly, the crying child of the Lord is given over to the reflection, the material world, to lord it over as karmi, and to give this up in frustration to become one with the Lord. Both these stages are dreaming illusions only. There is no necessity of tracing out the history of when the living entity desired this. But the fact is that as soon as he desired it, he was put under the control of Atma Maya by the direction of the Lord. Therefore, the living entity in his material condition is dreaming falsely that this is mine and this is I. The dream is that the conditioned soul thinks of his material body as I, or falsely thinks that he is the Lord and that everything in connection with that material body is mine. Thus, only in dream does the misconception of I and mine persist life after life. This continues life after life as long as the living entity is not purely conscious of his identity as the subordinate part and parcel of the Lord. In his pure consciousness, however, there is no such misconceived dream. And in that pure conscious state, the living entity does not forget that he is never the Lord, but that he is eternally the servitor of the Lord in transcendental love. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Shukha Vacha
Shri Shukha Vacha
Shri Shukha Vacha Atmaya Mrite Rajan
Atma Maya Rite Rajan
Manasyanubhavatmanaha
Manasya Parasyanu Atma
Nagate Tartha Sambandhaha
Nagate Tartha Sambandha
Nadashturi Vanjasa.
Swapna Drashtur Ivajasaha.
Shukdev Goswami continued, King, unless one influences the energy of Supreme Personality God, there is no meaning to relation to the pure soul and pure conscious mental body. A relation is just like a dreamer seeing his own body. This is what we understand, dreamer seeing his own body. So there are two things in the creation. There are two things in the creation. One thing is we understand the creation of the body. It's magical. If we see the creation of the body itself, it's phenomenal. It's very detailed, bones, tissues. Even seeing that itself, people understand, many people, God is there. But even more difficult than creation of the body is you are identifying with the body. You are thinking you are the body. That Maya, that is more difficult. Now the scientists are thinking only one part, in case they can construct a metal body. They are not able to construct a cell itself, forget a metal body. Talk is easy. What we are talking about is not only we have to create a body, you have to make a person feel he is the body. Soul is sitting in the body and he is thinking he is the body. Sapna Dashtum Ivanjasa. The relationship is like a dreamer seeing his own body working. Like in what happens in a dream. You think you identify with a particular body which comes in the dream. You're walking or running and you're thinking you're that. So similarly, you're feeling you are this body. It's exactly like this dreamer dreams he makes so many bodies and you identify with those bodies. Somebody is running behind, somebody says, somebody running behind me. What is that me? Is some new hallucination in the dream and somebody is running or you are running somewhere. Saptadashtum Ivanjasa. It's like in a dreamer seeing his own body working. So this is actually the present situation we are in, and Prabhupada is giving some purport here. Our base philosophy is very simple and basic. How difficult to question how living entity began matter life, even it's different from the body and mind. Spirit soul is distinct from the mental conception of life. It absorbed mental conception because of the influence of Maya. Soul is different from the body and mind, but because of Maya, identifies the mind and the body. And identification of the mind is even more difficult to separate. With the body, okay, that is also difficult, but to some extent, we think we are the mind. Already we explained in the first canto, Vyasa realized Supreme Lord. What is that? Bhakti yoge namanasi samyak pranihite amale apashyat purusham purna maya datapashayam. Vedavyasa on the order of Narada again sat for self-realization And when he saw the Supreme Lord, saw Maya was totally under his control. All the living pure consciousness is subordinate to the will of the Lord, being influenced by the external energy of the Lord. And the Lord is, external energy is controlled by the will of the Lord. And we are controlled by the material energy. Lord is present in everyone's heart, living in conscious forgiveness are also influenced by him. Why the Lord influences living entity such consciousness and forgetfulness that we identify with the body? Why does he do that? That is because he wants. Why does, sometimes question come, why does Krishna make us forgetful? When you read Mata Smriti Jnana Apohanam, why does he make people forgetful? This question comes. Is he playing some tricks with people? No, not having some fun. He's making us forget because we want to be independent of him. So we forget our service to Krishna, we forget our original identity, forget our particular seva, forget that I am not the body, I am spirit, soul, I forget everything. And I come to this world of illusion. This all is created because to facilitate our unwanted desire. Prabhupada said living in it is partially independent. There is no force to serve the Lord, but we want to misuse the independence. They want to be equally as powerful as the Lord, which is not possible. They are not fit to become so. If 10,000 people stayed together, you would faint. So not that situation. But Krishna doesn't faint. Happily gives shelter to unlimited living entities. Person who thinks of becoming king without possessing necessary qualifications, living entity desires to become the Lord, he is put in the condition of dreaming that he is the king. There was the first sinful will of the living entity is to become the Lord, and to consequent will of the Lord, the living entity forget original life, thus dream the land utopia, and become one like the Lord. Child cries to have the moon from the mother, and the mother gives the child mirror to satisfy the crying and disturbing child is a reflection of the moon. The child is asking, mother, give me a moon. What can mother do? Give her a reflection. That's all. And the crying child is satisfied. Similarly, crying child of the Lord is given over to reflection, metal word. Lord is a karmi. Just like metal word, the mirror gives a reflection. Metal word is also a reflection. But the both of stages are dreaming illusions only. There is no necessity of tracing out the history when the living entity desired this. What do they use since when we have started this nonsense business? What we have started? But fact to as soon as they desired, he was put under the control of Mahatmaya. Krishna bhuliya jeev bhogavan chakare chapatiya maya tare. Moment we forgot Krishna, immediately Maya captures us. The living in metal world is dreaming and aham mameti pumsa siya mithuni vameta tayor mitho hriday granti ahu ata griya shes sutapta vitte janasimo aham mameti. Only in the dream does the discussion I mind persist life after life, continue life after life. Living in it is not purely conscious, identity subordinate. In pure consciousness, mukti hitva anita rupam sarupena bhavisitihi. But rather he takes his original position as a sarupa, original servitor of the Lord. That is called mukti. Mukti doesn't mean we get 4 hairs, 4 hands or 10 heads. No, mukti means mukti hitva anita rupam sarupena. You come to your original identity as servant of the Lord, and they're peaceful and happy in that situation, free from the ahankara, aham and mameti. I enjoy. That's aham. Mameti, that is mine. Both these are Maya. So free from this person, happily situated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anything to add? Shobha Mata, you like to add something?
Hare Krishna. No, Prabhuji. This purport is self-explanatory purport. Very nice purport Prabhupada has written. And you have explained it very well, Prabhuji.
I repeat it. Aishwarya Mataji, like to add something?
Yes, Prabhuji. Like in Malayalam class, we had a person from US. He had known about the Advaita philosophy. So he wanted to know what is Dvaita philosophy. That's why he came to our Bhagavad Gita class. So at the end of the class, he started chanting very well, and he really understood that we are not one, we are two. And that's what I was also telling, like it's the Achintya Veda, Veda Tattvam, which Mahaprabhu gave us. We are simultaneously one and different from Lord. But we are not able to understand that. And Mahaprabhu himself says that we are Dasa, Dasa, no Das. And when someone called him he is Krishna, he used to close his ears. Even though he's the Lord, he himself don't like to hear that he's Lord because he's in the form of a devotee. When Prabhupada said that when someone asked, "Are you God?" and then he told, "No, I'm the servant of the Lord." Yes, Prabhupada.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Any other comments? Yes, Pooja Vrinda Mataji, you are there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, you want to add something?
No, Prabhu. Everything you have explained well. I have nothing to add. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, may I?
Yes.
Prabhuji, everything is clear. This message, is reinforced multiple times. The body is not the soul, and we are in an illusory world.
Huh?
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this message is very, very clear. So to me, it is clear that I have been leading a false life so far. That is what is very clear to me. Yeah.
Yes. Our philosophy is so simple, actually. A very simple philosophy. But to apply it, to internalize it, it takes a lifetime of tapasya and to realizations. There is a sweet pleasure in service to Krishna. Krishna is so wonderful, and we are his servants. This takes lifetime for realizing this. Theoretically, our philosophy is very simple. Realization is the highest conclusion, so that requires very high level of sincerity, very high level of integrity. Then the pleasure of service to Krishna is manifest.
Ji Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
चल रहा है ये थोड़ा करके निकाल लें
Hello?
खिचड़ी है इधर साग है देखो थोड़ा थोड़ा ही बनाइए अभी क्या क्या बनता है क्या पत्ता गोभी
Hare Krishna.
मेथी चने की दाल
Chane ki dal. Hare Krishna. Chalo, I think everybody is getting hungry for breakfast because yesterday was fasting. Vancha. So everybody did fasting yesterday, Ekadashi?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Yes, let us all have prasadam now. Vancha kalpada kripa sindhu vacha patitana pavanebhyo Vaishnav Guru Namaha Kodi Vaishnav in the key. Jai.
For me, fasting is today.
Yes. Hey.
For me, fasting is today.
Today fasting, why?
I don't know, Prabhuji. It's
Gulf. Prabhu in Gulf today
Dwadashi
is
never fasting, don't worry.
no in
Dwadashi
Gulf
fast
today
is
Prabhu.
cancelled. If it comes also, it is rejected. Dwadashi
No,
is only
Prabhuji,
feasting.
it's like
In Gulf today Prabhuji Ekadashi.
Oh, for you are fasting today. Take it.
yes, Prabhuji.
Take it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.